Trump's bold move, slashes USAID, announces record-breaking staff cuts introduction in a dramatic restructuring of U.S. foreign aid policy. Former President Donald Trump has officially moved to downsize the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, announcing an unprecedented reduction in staff. This decision marks a significant shift in America's approach to international development, sparking widespread debate over the implications for global humanitarian efforts, diplomatic relations, and economic assistance programs. Trump's announcement and justification. Trump, known for his America First policy, has long criticized USAID for what he describes as inefficient spending and a lack of accountability. At a press conference in Washington, he declared that billions of taxpayer dollars are being funneled into foreign aid with little to no benefit for the American people. He emphasized that this move was necessary to redirect funds toward domestic priorities such as infrastructure, healthcare, and national security. According to official reports, the Trump administration has slashed USAID's workforce by a record-breaking percentage, making it one of the most significant federal agency cuts in recent history. Estimates suggest that thousands of employees have been laid off or reassigned, and multiple projects have been either scaled down or entirely discontinued. Impact on USAID programs worldwide. The downsizing of USAID has sent shockwaves through the international development community. USAID plays a crucial role in various global initiatives, from disaster relief and poverty alleviation to democracy promotion and global health efforts. The reduction in staff and funding raises concerns about the future of these programs, particularly in vulnerable regions that rely heavily on U.S. assistance. Health and humanitarian. One of the most affected sectors is global health. USAID has been instrumental in initiatives targeting diseases such as HIV, AIDS, malaria, and tuberculosis. Programs under the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, and other critical health initiatives are now facing funding shortages, potentially impacting millions of lives. Additionally, emergency humanitarian aid, which supports refugee populations and disaster-stricken areas, is expected to experience severe cutbacks. Nations recovering from natural disasters and conflict zones may struggle to secure the necessary support from the U.S., leaving a gap that other international donors may not be able to fill immediately. Economic development and trade. USAID has been a key driver in global economic development, providing financial aid, resources, and expertise to developing nations to stimulate economic growth. The reduction in these programs may slow economic progress in emerging markets and affect international trade relations. Countries that rely on USAID's assistance to boost their economies may need to seek alternative partnerships, possibly strengthening ties with competitors like China and Russia. Domestic reaction, praise and criticism. The decision to scale back USAID has sparked mixed reactions within the U.S. While conservative policymakers and America First advocates applaud Trump's move as a necessary step toward reducing unnecessary expenditures, critics argue that it damages U.S. global influence and weakens diplomatic ties. Supporters. Prospective proponents of the decision argue that USAID has long been plagued by inefficiency and lack of oversight. They believe that cutting down unnecessary expenditures will help reduce the national debt and allow more funds to be allocated to domestic priorities. Republican Senator Josh Hawley stated, "For too long, the U.S. has been wasting billions on ineffective foreign aid while neglecting its own citizens. This is a bold and necessary decision to refocus our resources where they are needed most." Critics' concerns. On the other hand, critics, including Democratic lawmakers and humanitarian organizations, warn that this move will weaken America's global leadership. Many believe that foreign aid is not just a charitable effort but a strategic investment in global stability, which ultimately benefits the U.S. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton criticized the decision, stating, "USAID is not just about aid. It's about diplomacy, economic security, and global influence. Cutting it so drastically will only weaken America's standing on the world stage." Global reactions. Allies and rivals respond. European allies. Concerns. Many European allies have expressed concern over the reduction of U.S. aid, as it places additional pressure on other international donors. The European Union has historically worked alongside USAID on numerous development projects, and now, with the U.S. stepping back, Europe may have to increase its financial commitments to compensate. French President Emmanuel Macron commented, "The world needs the United States to remain engaged in global humanitarian and development efforts." This decision leaves a significant void that must be addressed. China and Russia's opportunity. Geopolitical rivals like China and Russia see this move as an opportunity to expand their influence in developing nations. China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, has already made significant inroads in Africa, Asia, and Latin America, and with reduced U.S. Engagement. Beijing is expected to further cement its economic and political influence. Russian officials have also signaled their intent to strengthen ties with countries that previously relied on U.S. assistance, potentially shifting global alliances. The future of U.S. foreign aid. The restructuring of USAID under Trump's administration raises questions about the future of U.S. foreign aid policy. While the former president has emphasized a more transactional approach, favoring economic partnerships over traditional aid programs, the long-term consequences of this shift remain uncertain. If the U.S. disengages from global development initiatives, it could lead to a power vacuum that adversarial nations will be quick to fill. This could, in turn, impact American businesses, security interests, and global strategic partnerships. Conclusion. Trump's decision to downsize USAID marks a turning point in U.S. foreign aid policy. While the move aligns with his broader agenda of reducing government spending and prioritizing domestic concerns, it has sparked significant debate both within the U.S. and internationally. Whether this decision strengthens America's position or weakens its global influence remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that the world is watching closely as the United States redefines its role in international development and diplomacy.